I haven't wanted to do this. I really haven't wanted to do this. But I am compelled to. I am compelled to make a video to complain about my own team, the Chicago Cubs. When the Ricketts family bought the team in 2009, they promised to deliver a World Series victory to us, and in 2016, they did. For this, I will be forever grateful to them. However, since that time, things have gone downhill, and Ricketts seems content to rest on his laurels now. It seems that after delivering on their promise, they are now just coasting on the goodwill that got for them. They're allowed to do this. They own the team and can run it any way they want to. Of course, they will never admit that they're just coasting and are never going to give 100%, because that would upset the fan base and people would probably stop going to games. But I feel this is exactly what they're doing. If Jed Hoyer and his team can pull a rabbit out of a hat and build a cheap World Series winner through an immense amount of luck via drafting and developing, of course Ricketts would be thrilled with that. But never being in the mix for the top-tier free agents to supplement this process will almost always fail. You need to do both. Yes, the Cubs acquired Dansby Swanson this year. He's a fine player, but certainly not in the top tier of free agents that were available. In any list of free agent shortstops you can find when the 2022 season ended, Swanson was always known to be just below the top tier of guys like Correa, Turner, and Bogaerts, and the Cubs were never in on any of them. Why? Because of their cost. Plain and simply, the Cubs are a major market team acting like a mid-market team. Chicago is the third largest city in the country, as well as the third largest media market, but the Cubs want to act like they are the Seattle Mariners. During his media scrum today, Tom Ricketts talked about competing for the division. Your goal, if you're serious about wanting to win, should never be to compete for the division. It should only be to compete for the World Series. I remember what the late George Steinbrenner used to say about his Yankees, and I'm paraphrasing, "Every year we don't win the World Series is a failed year." This is how you should run the team as an owner if you're serious about winning. We are not the Colorado Rockies, talking about possibly competing for the division. Winning the division every year should be almost a given, seeing as we're competing with a bunch of small to mid-market teams that, on paper, should not be able to compete with us financially. But Ricketts seems to treat this as some great goal. The division is not the prize. The World Series is the prize. And last thing before I finish. Please, for the love of God, stop talking about acquiring good clubhouse guys. This seems to be the Cubs' sole criteria for deciding whom they go after. You know why guys like Trey Mancini and Patrick Wisdom are good clubhouse guys? Because they're not great players. If you're a mediocre player, you can't run around acting like a jerk because of course a team will show you the door. If you're a mediocre player, but a great clubhouse guy, and cheap, Cubs love cheap, then a team will think twice before replacing you. Barry Bonds was a grade A asshole, but I would have surely wanted him on my team. Frank Thomas had a reputation as a prima donna and a jerk, but I'd love to see him hitting for my team every day. Many of the great players are not good clubhouse guys, and I don't care. I only care if they're great. Of course, these great jerk-offs are also expensive, and I think this may be the real reason the Cubs keep pushing this good clubhouse guy narrative down our throats. You're supposed to win. Your sole reason for existence is to win. Just remember that.